Hi, welcome to JC Audits. It's a very interesting video today. It's kind of like a documentary, but not really. So, first of all, a little bit of global news. So, let's talk about Ukraine. So, there's a war still going on. Wars start because of various reasons like territorial, ideological, religious, environmental, and that's it. Chimpanzees and bonobos, the tribes, the warring sort of like different tribes, they fight for territory, and in the actual tribes themselves they fight for dominance. So Genghis Khan, he possibly had some dominance stuff going on and murderous intent to other males. So Genghis Khan could have been exhibiting bonobo-like features. Is the murderous intent native to humans? Can you trace it back through the generations, through the maternal line, down the thousands of years, hundreds of thousands, and into millions of years of Homo sapiens hominid ancestors? Do you see the murderous intent in other species? Wolves? Other animals? And when do animals of different species show affection to each other? And when is the murderous intent? If it's true that Homo sapiens fight wars because of differences, those reasons I just mentioned, environmental, ideological, religious, etc., could there be no wars if all the areas, domains, and personalities of humans were equal? Therefore, is there a role for AI for the assimilation of humans into one homologous form? Has the incorporation of humans already started with an extra corporeal computer that has to be held in the digits of the human, and that bit by bit, slowly step by slow step, be incorporated into that human? What is the computer that we hold in our hands? Phones. Could it be incorporated into the human being one day? It's possible. We have computers that we could look through, whether it's a VR room, a VR headset, or Google Glass Specs, sponsored by Ray-Ban, or eyeglasses sponsored by Ray-Ban. Could we have implants in the brain, like Elon Musk said? There are already some kind of brain to muscle interface, and potentially bionic ear and potentially bionic eye already being developed. So where will this lead? Will it potentially lead to bionic humans, the genetic engineering of humans? Once the legal barriers are crumbled, will it potentially lead to a similar sort of human? Once there's a similar sort of human, there's no warfare. And humanity, if you want to call it that, Yuval Noah Harari calls it Homo Deus as opposed to Homo sapiens. So this cyborg could be Homo Ultima, to the last human. So wars would no longer be fought, like the Second World War could not happen again, because currently it can, because of differences, climate change, but if those differences were ruled out, then wars would not happen. But for that to happen, then humans need to be changed forever. We try to reduce screen time for our children, when ultimately maybe it's screen time we need to give them, because that's stage one of the incorporation of this homologous AI into our children over not decades but centuries and thousands of years. Evolution is happening with machines, like dogs co-evolved with humans. The evolution, the inexorable evolution of humans is already happening into machines. And the pushback from parents is, screen time, I don't want to give screen time to my children, I want them to read books, is kind of like anachronistic. So potentially there will be a dumbing down of humans, because AI would know the human desires and fulfill them, meet them, exceed them. And it's more than funny cat videos on YouTube. So currently, though, the world we live in has a lot of war in it, extremism. News, we need news to tell us what's going on. Social media. Do we need social media? Well, we use it anyway. But let's look at wars. So, Second World War, ideological war, fought by Hitler. You felt pissed off about the deal that Germany got after World War One. Felt people were stabbing Germany in the back. Hitler felt the Jews were stabbing Germany in the back, along with communists. So, he fought war and wanted to demonstrate Germany's power by expanding it into other countries, creating a living space for the Germans. So in Ukraine, there's obviously war on both sides. There's no evidence hard evidence of biological weapons because casualties have not come in, for one, showing biological attack signs. The drones that they use have exceeded 50 kg. The payload can be incendiary, can be conventional, and the ballistics capability is starting to increase of these drones. Ukraine do use searchlights to find these drones. The bombardments often happen around 11 p.m. when people are trying to get to sleep. Sarajevo was another war, by the Bosniaks, Muslim Bosniaks. The Serbs were obviously Orthodox Christians, and the Croats were Catholics, so the Bosnian part of the war was very, very brutal. The others less so. Mercenaries were used. For example, British Army. Ex-British Army went as mercenaries, but also other armies across Europe joined in, for pay. There was potentially also tourism. Europeans paid perhaps to shoot Muslims, but who knows? Here's an AK, here's an M16, go and shoot a few humans. So, interesting. So that's a little bit of a thought spinner for you guys. I'm just going to leave that with you and come back to me with any questions. Thank you, JC out.